The mountains shared with Slovakia closer than you think, the river that crosses the border with Poland, and all of this plus much more seen from the castle walls, yeah, it's possible. Join me and discover the secrets of Ľubovňa Castle. Greetings from Retro in Poland. I'm heading to Slovakia to one of the castles there. But before that, join me for a short ride. Obozy ryterskie, mija ma maszyna. Kierunek Słowacja, chillus sensy mila. Spakowałem wszystko, pełny mam już plecak. Poślad bity w siodło, w sety obie nogi. Dalej mostem lecę sobie moto z rana. 125 granica mijana. W lusterkach odbicie piękna polska strona. Slovensko już predu, susy dobre rano. Tylko kracą ty to tym jestem piesel. Nie jeździć nie motorko, a mam nowe dojmy. Pochlad z plirby, widzim krasne strany. Прияличу sam isti, krasny dzień przychadza. Przyjacielu sam isti, krasny dzień przychadza. Krasny dzień przychadza. Brief stop at a place known as the Courier Trail. While recording this video, I didn't yet know that this spot along the main road is part of the track created in 1939. It stretches from Polish Tarnów through Piwniczna all the way to Slovakia. Let me show you. This is Europe, and here is Poland. The carrier and smuggling route connected Warsaw with Budapest, serving as one of the key communication arteries between the Polish underground state and the West during World War II. It ran from Warsaw through Krakow. Around Krakow, carriers often relied on local resistance networks and safe houses to prepare for the more dangerous mountainous part of the journey. Then the trail primarily southward through the mountainous regions of Lesser Poland. Key locations along the route included Nowy Sącz and Piwniczna, from where carriers would frequently cross the border near Stará Ľubovňa. From there, the route led further south through the Tatras or surrounding mountain regions. Border crossing routes also originated from Zakopane, Dukla and Sanok. Though extremely risky, the route was well organized and operated by experienced carriers, especially those from the Sącz region, who, thanks to their knowledge of the terrain and support from local communities, were able to safely carry messages, money and people. So let's honor them. They saved many human lives. Now let's get back to the ride. Czasy wojny, potajemne marsze, szlaki kurierskie, trudne, niebezpieczne misje, przygraniczne trakty, gdzie w trudzie nocą z podziemia na Słowację tajne pisma słane. Lecz kurierzy, łącznicy, krew bohaterska wrze. Ci życie kruche stawiali na szali, gdzie przez góry, rzeki, pola i wsie, notatki w bucie, czysta adrenalina w tle, a w ręce poczta, pieniądze, broni, meldunki ogrzewające w blasku ogniska trunki. W boju o wolność, krytycznie ciężki byt, nieludzkie warunki, masa trosk i ciągła bezsilność. Suną zmęczone nogi, gdy czekający na Węgrzech jeszcze śpi. Roześlę sentencję, póki ostatni Polak żyw, ostatnim tchnieniem obrany na cel. Kierunek wolność. Nikt już nie zmusi białego orła, by moczył bezsilnie swe skrzydła w czerwonej plamie krwi. And here we are. We'll head a bit up to the open-air museum located beneath the castle. Oh yes, so much greenery, peace and quiet. A true countryside idyll. The open-air museum, in a way connected to the castle, is a great warm-up for sightseeing. There are about 20 buildings here, from a church and a forge to a mill and several types of traditional farmsteads. The museum was established in 1956. Most interiors have been carefully restored. We begin with a house relocated from the village of Wielki Lipnik. In the hallway, a wooden chest and bucket stand out. This area was used for storing tools and household items. To the left is a small bedroom with a bed, a table, and 2 chairs. The room on the right serves as a kitchen, bedroom, and dining area, all in one. You'll notice a spinning wheel, once used to turn fibers into yarn, and the decoration of the table suggests its Easter season. A quick stop at the village major's house, dated 1909. In the main living room you'll find life-sized figures representing the household members. The entrance also leads through a room that served as a kitchen. We step outside and what do we see? Yep, it's a goat. The open-air museum is full of live animals. Let it graze, we're moving on. A seasonal shepherd's cottage, typically used during the summer. In the hallway, you'll find benches and basic tools like a bucket and milk jug. The main room includes just the essentials: a bed, a clay stove, kitchen utensils, a table and a chair. No sockets to change your phone and dreaming of Netflix? Forget it. It's low and quite cramped, not ideal if you are claustrophobic. The next cottage is even smaller, white painted with a bed made from logs and wooden beams. So rich, a large stove with a chimney rising through the roof, and a ladder leading to the attic. There's noticeably more space here. In the living room you'll find figures of an elderly couple. On the table sits a bowl with several spoons. Back then it was common for peasants to eat from one dish, a habit that surely brought families closer. Also, many carpets here. A cozy space with decorated pictures, 2 beds, a long bench, a small stove and another room next door. And that's not all. Smooth walls and 3 carpets. One must admit, it's quite cozy here. Outside, geese wander around carefree. The house and the entire courtyard were relocated from Udol and date back to the first half of the 20th century. The whole complex includes a house, a stable, a barn, and a granary. Looking to the right, you can see more cottages, and in the distance, the main goal of the trip, Ľubovňa Castle, but not just yet. Providing a place to sleep and stay safe, that's not everything. Some people wanted to stand out, and what better place to stand out than the sailing beams? Here, fantasy was limited only by the craftsman's experience and the technical possibilities of the time. A rural artist carpenter like that? Probably well known, especially among the ladies. A granary from Wielka Lesna in the Spiš region of Zamaguri, but instead of grain, flour or root vegetables, this one stores toys. Some of the items clearly aren't from the early 20th century anymore, but many of the dolls and tiny hanging plates feel original. The walls brushed with bright blue paint. Now here's something you almost never see anymore. A stationary diesel engine used to power a threshing machine. Machines like this were still used in my own family home over 25 years ago, though by then we used an electric motor. Still, the power was transferred the old way, by belt. And in the next room, sleigh. The guide will say they are used for hay, but I think they hold firewood for winter.
To są sanie? Tak?
What do you believe this sleigh were really used for? Hay
Drzewo
or
się nimi pewnie w
firewood?
zimie woziło. Siano. Aha.
So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Last cottage, low ceilings, but once again there are carpets, a sign of wealth. Inside a light blue tiled stove with dishes on it. In the old days, nothing came easy. Even clothes started in the fields. Wherever people lived, clothing followed. But before anyone could sew a shirt or a dress, they had to harvest flax. A typewriter and an electric lamp break the illusion of the past. This room feels like a step into the more modern times. But just a few steps further, and we're back in a different era. The next room feels warmer and more open. A stone mill for grinding grain, a wooden washboard, shelves full of dishes and kitchen tools, a wicker basket by the wall. But in the next room, a different kind of stillness. On the left side, a mannequin of the deceased, lying in a silence, surrounded by votive candles glowing softly. In the old days, the dead remained at home, mourned by family and neighbors. Sharing a room with death must have been deeply unsettling, a feeling captured powerfully by the somber scene set at the table. The workroom feels dark, but surprisingly functional. Wooden walls, floors, and ceilings create a warm, rustic atmosphere. Yet this room stands apart. It's spacious, with a ceiling much higher than in the other buildings. A narrow stairway leads down into a dark, damp cellar, adding a hint of mystery to the space. Further inside, a small entrance hall opens to the left, into a roomy kitchen, lined wall to wall with room, and again with carpets, with colorful carpets. This space doubled as a cozy sleeping area. Right next door is a tiny room for one person who, though lacking a toilet, had everything needed for a simple, minimalist lifestyle. What is a village without its blacksmith? Someone has to make tools and provide shoes for the horses. The blacksmith profession was highly respected and well paid in those days. Not far from the open-air museum, there is a military exhibition, recreated in the style of a military base. The place has a peculiar military atmosphere, amplified by music playing in the background. You can see anti-tank obstacles, shaped like hedgehogs. We'll come back here later. Our next destination is Lubowla Castle, which for centuries served as an important strategic, political and cultural center in the region. Above the entrance, a skeleton watches over. It might belong to a person from the medieval or early modern period. This castle is a true gem of medieval defensive architecture. Built in the 14th century as a fortress guarding the northern borders of the Kingdom of Hungary. Thick Gothic walls, up to 4 meters wide, effectively resisted sieges and symbolized the castle's power. Built by the people of Old Lubowla, it was designed to defend against the rising threat of Turkish invasions. With 3 carefully placed cannon embrasures, this bastion offered a formidable vantage point. A true stronghold, while defenders could hold their ground against any enemy. During the tourist season, Lubowla Castle comes alive with many events, including impressive falconry shows. One of the main highlights is seeing majestic eagles up close, powerful birds of prey that capture your attention with their grace and strength.
Kelvin.
From the castle walls, you can enjoy a stunning view stretching towards the town of Stará Ľubovňa and the Spiš region. This castle was strategically positioned right on the Polish-Hungarian border, which allowed it to control important trade routes and defend against possible invasions from the south. I must admit that the stairs in this castle are very narrow. During the Swedish Deluge in 1655, the Polish crown jewels were hidden in the castle to protect them from the invading Swedes. They remained safely stored there until 1661. At that time, the castle was managed by Jerzy Sebastian Lubomirski, who was the starost of the Spiš region. Today, the castle exhibition features a hussary armor, reminding visitors of the military power and important role the castle played in defending the country. The exhibition, titled La Femme Fatale of Ľubovňa Castle, uncovers fascinating stories of the women connected to this place, who played key roles, from mothers and wives to noble ladies and widows. Inside the rooms, visitors can see preserved portraits of family members, personal belongings, and furnishings that reveal the lifestyle of the nobility in the 19th century. The exhibition highlights their influence on the castle's history and daily life, shedding light on their everyday experiences, challenges, and secrets. Underground passages, known as casemates, were used for storing weapons, ammunition, food, for sheltering people, and also as a prison. In the western bastion, built in 1544, there were 16 cannon embrasures, and by 1617, cannons named Dragon, Tomcat, Falcon, and Bagpipe were installed. This is the only preserved bastion of this type in Slovakia, known as the Ear Bastion. It was constructed as a response to the growing threat from the Turks. At the entrance of the military exhibition near Castle, we can see the OT-64 SKOT armored personnel carrier in the Air 2 version, which served as a command vehicle providing communication and coordination of military operations. It was primarily used by the armed forces of Poland and Czechoslovakia from the 1970s onward. Right next to it we can find a Russian MiG-21 UN fighter jet, allowing visitors to peek inside the machine that dominated the skies of Eastern Bloc countries for decades. The next exhibit is the legendary MG42 machine gun, though this particular piece features slightly modified bipods. The exhibit also includes medical vehicles like the UAZ 452 ambulance and the Praga V3S, whose cargo space was converted into a field dressing station. A field tent and classy military field kitchen provide insight into the logistical backbone of military operations. Among the heavier vehicles, we can find the Soviet MTLB Tracked Armored Personnel Carrier, a versatile vehicle used both as an infantry transporter and a support vehicle. Finally, we see the Dnieper K750, a classic Soviet motorcycle with a sidecar, used by the military for rapid transport and reconnaissance.
Dobra, czas wracać. Bardzo udany dzień.
Yes, sir.
Where are the new videos?
Almost done, sir. Preparing to share.